Hello and welcome to episode 51 of VocTerGaming. I'm your host, the vocal terrorist, Jesse Rain. Right, now, all the silliness from last week is over. We are back to serious games. I was intending to look at the state of Protoss now this week, but that's going to have to wait until a bit later, because I've just seen a really nice series. Now, not last week, but the week before, we had a week on LiquidJinro. The week before that, we had EGIdrA, and now at the IEM tournament over in China we have IEDRA versus Jinro. So I think this is just a really good opportunity to see how the two match up. So of course, in the red, the Zerg, he is EGIdrA, and over here as the blue Terran, he is LiquidJinro. Now before we go on with this, I've just got a couple of things to say, a couple of announcements to make. First of all, made a new friend, trying to help promote the UK scene. So if you feel like watching a bit of players streaming, go over to twitch.tv/8bit. That's 8_bit. That's a guy called Nutcase. He's at the moment a gold level Terran, but he's pretty fun to watch. He's had some good games. Is he Terran or is he Zerg? I completely forget. I drank over the weekend. I killed far too many brain cells, even though that's a lie. And as well, big announcement, on the 29th and the 30th of October, down at the Emirates Stadium, we have the European Gaming League that will host plenty of tournaments, including a huge StarCraft 2 tournament running over those 2 days. So if you're in the UK and you have that weekend free, please get down there. I won't be there myself, as unfortunately I'm working. Having a few problems at work at the moment means I can't get that weekend off. However, I will be picking the select few replays. I'll be doing a week or two of nothing but EGL, and that's going to be really fun. I really want to showcase some of the talent that the UK has, and not just the talent, but the fun we can have here. Anyway, that is announcements over. No, it isn't. Announcements are not over. This weekend, this coming weekend, I am doing my last 2 wrestling shows. If you're a fan of me as a ring announcer, please get yourself to XWA in Morecambe on the Saturday and Future Shock in Stockport on the Sunday. They're going to be fantastic shows. I've been promised that they will be fantastic. But besides that, of course, it's the last chance you get to see me outside of the StarCraft 2 context. So that now finally is announcements over, and I can commentate on this game as players are scouting one another. IEDRA has taken this base. IEDRA has now taken still just the one gas, has got his spawning pool up, so will not quite have enough for zergling speed just yet. Really focusing on the macro, which Jinro knows all about. In the same vein, Jinro is going for this very fast mech, going for a pretty quick factory just off the one gas there. I imagine we'll add a second one soon. He's getting the reactor, could well be, again, swapping that to get the 2 Hellions out, like we've seen before. Hellions, of course, this is after the 1.4 patch. The blue flame does not do damage. Oh, well, it does do damage, obviously, but it's only +5 instead of +10, so they're no longer 2-shot workers. As we see Jinro building a command center, they're going to be taking his natural very shortly. Something else I want to talk about. For those of you who've been watching the GSL, Hellions are still really good. Now, instead of getting blue flame, you just get 5 million Hellions and burn everything to the ground. Then you get blue flame and +1. One little zergling here, trying to do some scouting, damaging this reactor, but there should be marines about very shortly. Oh, they've run all the way to the base to do some scouting. They now need to come back and defend this reactor. Tech Lab is going down on the barracks. It's quite possible that's a blue flame, and the first 2 Hellions pop out. I'd have said that was giving the game away, but it was pretty obvious with a reactor on a factory that you're going to get 2 Hellions. That's just pretty much the only thing you can build out of that. Now we have switched. What will we see coming out of the Tech Lab? We see blue flame. Jinro still choosing to go for the blue flame upgrade. Very interesting. Now I'm questioning whether this is him once again lagging behind the metagame, or if this is him actually having a new strategy, something that still works with blue flame. As we see 1 spine crawler in the base of IEDRA, 2 spine crawlers in fact, just going to help him out to defend against any kind of Hellion run-bys. If we pop over here, we see the starport now going down. The command center is nearly finished morphing to an orbital. And this Overlord does get a bit of a scout, but nothing much. See if he's seen everything here. Doesn't know about the command center, doesn't know about the starport. In fact, that was an absolutely useless scouting Overlord. He should feel bad about himself. These two Hellions now, just some map presence for Jinro. Just helps him keep a scout on, make sure IEGIDRA's not taking any risky bases. Forces IEGIDRA to play a bit safer, and of course spawn a lot of Zerglings. Oh, nearly got the surround there. But these Hellions should escape. They are as fast as Zerglings, pretty much. They will get a few hits. He might lose this back one if he's not careful, but no, IEGIDRA turns around. Interesting Jinro there, choosing not to start a step and do some damage to the Hellions, instead just choosing to come all the way home. Now he does have this natural up now. Needs to do something with this SCV. Hasn't rallied to the minerals. Oh, Jinro. There we go. Dropping the supply depots now. And finally that SCV does start mining minerals. Over in the base of IEGIDRA we have an Evo chamber. We have a Baneling nest. Somewhere we have a spire as well. Very, very good. Teching really, really fast now. Getting melee attacks level 1 at the same time Jinro's getting stim. Of course, stim, absolutely excellent for Marines. Just a necessary upgrade for every Terran player if you are building any kind of sizable Marine force. Now he's adding 2 more racks to this, as well as building another reactor. Interesting. That will likely stay on that, unless he's deciding to just build a Viking force. Getting another reactor full there. Interesting not getting a tech lab, not getting any Ravens out. That's a shame. I like to see Ravens in Terran play. They're so good. And you only need 1 or 2. And now Blue Flame is absolutely roasting these drones. 4 Hellions with Blue Flame do so much damage. As we can see here, these Hellions are taking damage. Loses 1 to the Spine Crawler, loses a 2nd to the Spine Crawler. Oh, loses a lot of Hellions there. Now, how many workers has he killed? Do I remember the hotkey? 13 workers killed there to just the 1 of IEGIDRA. That makes a total of 22 to 3 as we see. Now this Viking come in, trying to do a bit of scouting and take down an Overlord or 2, but does get shut down by the Queens. Really, really nice. And as we see, Muters are coming out now, which is going to make 1 Viking absolutely worthless. He's going to need to add a few more. And if we pop up here, we see more Hellions trying to come into the base now. Scantipede nearly getting run over there. Is not following his green cross code, but more and more drones now being destroyed. But nice surround by those Zerglings, takes those Hellions down before they can do any more damage. Really like that from IEGIDRA. This is some nice harassment from Jinro, but he needs to follow it up with something. It's not enough to just keep building Hellions. Now he's got a couple of Marines here that are just sitting in the base, I assume to help protect against any muta harass, as we see turrets going down now. And Lings are streaming towards the base, along with 1 Baneling. Poor slow Baneling. 1 Zergling tries to scout, but gets blue flamed to death. Combat shield now going down, along with infantry weapons level 1 upgrade. IEGIDRA, meanwhile, is expanding to this upper location here. It's going to be really nice. IEGIDRA once again with some decent creep spread. It's not the best we've ever seen, obviously, but it is nice. These bases will be connected, and then he can start pushing it forwards. So that's some nice pre-planning there from IEGIDRA. And now this is a large flock of mutas. Can do some real damage here, can get all these Hellions. 1 Viking out, 2 missile turrets, but if they're careful, does force the cancel there on the factory. Nice kiting there from that Viking, trying to pull the mutas into range of the missile turrets, and he is going to have to be careful here. He can pick off some of these Marines, but of course does not want to lose any mutas, and quite a few of them are now in the deep orange, 1 even in red, 2 in red now. Needs to be very, very careful with this muta control. I mean, the harass is good for making him stay in the base, as we see a 2nd Evo chamber up there going down. That's going to allow him to get double quick upgrades. And now Stims. Oh, still doesn't actually kill any mutas though. Really, really hard luck there for Jinro. Does have 2 medevacs out to help heal these. Does have a bunker for defense, and is going to build a third command center here. I'm going to try and expand, I'd imagine, down to this base here. And now we see mutas flying forwards, going to kill some Hellions. Hellions here completely undefended. Now the Marine stim does catch 2 mutas, but they were the already damaged ones, and the mutas now fly back. Nice little micro there from EGIdrA. EGIdrA with the slight food advantage, but it's really not much. If we just go to the units tab there, we see it's 51 drones to 55 SCVs. So Jinro actually with the economic advantage. With more SCVs and, of course, mules, he can really motor. However, he is going to need to get extra bases. That's the thing people need to remember about this. Even though the Terran can really push their economy if they desire with mules into the mid and late game, that does mean they're going to need to take extra bases earlier, and this is something that Zerg can really take advantage of, because as you see, EGIdrA has 3 bases to Jinro's 2. So while Jinro may be slightly ahead, he will oversaturate very quickly, and EGIdrA of course will be able to sustain this economic pressure for longer, which is why of course Jinro is building this command center. EGIdRA's job is basically to defend any kind of pushes from the Terran right now and shut down a 3rd base wherever it goes up. Infantry armor level 1 going up now, along with infantry weapons level 2. We've got a ton of upgrades now coming out for EGIdRA. That's the melee attacks level 2 and the ground armor level 1, along with centrifugal hooks, which is the speed for banelings, I believe. I slightly forgot, I'm sure it's bane speed. And now a scan going down just to see what he can see. Pop some creep tumors. And now pushes in. This is a nice little marine force with the medevac support. And 1 Hellion. 2 Hellions in fact. One was hidden under that medevac. As you see, one here will get picked off if it just decides to stay where it is. And in fact those mutas do pick it off. Now we have lots of mutas, lots of lings, and a decent amount of banelings here. What I'd like to see out of EGIdRA is some infestors very shortly. I'd like to see some infestors. Infestors really good against this bio-Hellion style that Jinro is doing. As we see, he floats this command center down to his 3rd, already building missile turrets in anticipation. I like that. He's going to know there's going to be some harassment coming. The mutas are going to be able to damage that if those turrets aren't up. But the mutas are already here. They take down the SCVs and the turrets. Oh, and this command center is going to die unless these marines can do something about it. Marines are now here though. Does catch 1 lone one. Mutas alone are not enough to take that down. That is at half health already though. So either he spends money to repair it, or Corvid reactor going down now. Starting energy for Ravens, so he is going to get a Raven out. EGIdRA meanwhile is expanding up to here, while Jinro is attacking with Hellions here. Only the 1 muta down here right now, but he does take 1 down. And in fact we'll get that second one very easily. But a large force again. Nope, choosing to move back, just holding these Zelnaga towers. But it looks like he's going to find out about this base now. So this 4th is not going to stay up for EGIdRA. That's a really good pressure now by Jinro. Is he going to get it before these lings and mutas arrive? That's going to be really close. Focusing it down, it's not going to be enough. The hatchery stays up. Amazing. Really good timing there by EGIdRA. 3 Ravens being built now. That surprises me. Along with an infestation pit from EGIdRA, which I like. That's what I wanted him to get. Now, a lot of missile turrets in this base, along with the marines. Doesn't have the high-sec auto tracking yet, which is something I like. It's an upgrade I like to get against marines. Against mutas rather. And now managing to kill. There's an awful lot of mutas here, meaning they can just tank these marines and then move in and take down the missile turrets. He needs to repair these missile turrets and do some real nice economic damage here, killing an awful lot of SCVs, taking down all the missile turrets, and now he can start taking down things like Ravens as they come out. Such an expensive unit in here amongst the production facilities. That's really bad for Terran. They struggle to build a sizable force when you're doing this. So much going down there for Jinro. The really nice attack there. Now Seeker Missile is being built again. Seeker Missile can be quite good against these mutalisks, especially with the slight speed upgrade it's got. Now if we just check again the workers code, it's starting to even up. EGIdRA managed to kill 19 workers there and 28 overall for Jinro. Now once again, this is a really nice force moving down towards the 3rd base. This is becoming a planetary fortress, but that will not help against the mutas whatsoever. If he can just pull these marines away from the planetary, he can surround them with his lings and then kill them with the blings. And then doing so much damage here, catching nearly all the SCVs at that base before Jinro responds. EGIdrA is nearly maxed now. He's getting his hive up. He's getting another Mutalisk out, along with 14 more Banelings. Now, infantry armor level 2 is nearly finished, but that will not matter against those Banelings. That hatchery up here is now done. Another hatchery is being built, a macro hatchery in here. That's going to help him produce even more units when he wants them, allowing him to remax his army very, very quickly. The question will be, will he then choose to go Great Aspire into Broodlord Infestatek, or will he just kill everything here, using all his Banelings to take down that planetary fortress? I love it! That is a brilliant way to kill a planetary fortress. There's no way they can take it down in time. EGIdrA now expanding onto Jinro's half of the map. Jinro's still stuck on 2 base. This push is going to have to win him the game. Sending some Marines up here to this hatchery and sending the rest of his forces in here. A ton of Ravens with Seeker Missile, a bunch of Marines, Medivacs and a couple of Hellions. Needs to kill EGIdrA with this push or he will die. That is simply it. Hunter Seeker Missile going off in the middle of the Mutas, but it's not going to be enough. All these Ravens are going to die. Everything here is going to die. Jinro's forces are dwindling. EGIdrA has taken this game by the horns. He is going to go 1-0 right now here at the IEM in China. That is pretty much it. I am expecting a GG at any moment now from Jinro. He has virtually no mining left. He has virtually no minerals left. He cannot rebuild his 3rd planetary fortress, so he's not going to be able to expand anytime soon. And as we see here, he's just going to lose now to this push. One final stand of Marines here, and LiquidJinro GG's. EGIdrA goes 1-0 up in this IEM tournament, in this best of 3, I believe it is. I need to check up on that. Anyway, that is us for today. Very, very nice little game between EGIdrA and Jinro. I'll be back tomorrow for game 2. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.